Hey, what's going on? How you doing? First off, Happy New Year to everybody. Now that we've got the pleasantries out of the way, let's get down to business. Today's video. Can a phone, yes, that's a lot of people have got in their pocket, can a phone really make cinematic videos? I put a brand new phone case with a whole bunch of very interesting cinema style accessories to the test. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Freewell Sherpa system. This is the Sherpa case. This is first out of the box, and in fact, we gotta call this like it is. This has become my new case in my phone for the last couple of weeks. You can see it's pretty dinged up because I drop stuff quite a lot. This is an incredible case. But not only is it a really solid case, but there's something really interesting about this case, and it allows you to add a whole bunch of accessories. First up, there is a glow mist filter. Now, for anyone else wondering what a glow mist filter is, a lot of your favorite movies will have some kind of a glow mist filter on. This is a quarter mist, so basically what it does, it kind of blooms out the highlights, makes everything soft, and just makes everything look that little bit more dreamy and cinematic. Remember, we're talking about making cinematic videos with our phone, or is that even a thing, right? So that's one of the first accessories here. Really simple to start using any of these on this particular case. You get this absolute beast of a unit. Look at that. That just looks cool, right? There's no twisty screwing part in this. This is actually magnetic. Freewell do a lot of magnetic gear and it just clicks in. Let's take the lens cap off here, which is a unit of a lens cap. And then there we go, look. Pretty solid. That's pretty on there. So now what we have here is this mist filter. So everything is going to have that mist vibe going on. But it's not only can you put on something like a mist filter on here, there is something like a V&D. So while I'm opening this, let me explain really quickly what a V&D is, and those of you who are after that cinematic vibe will absolutely need something like this variable ND, neutral density, and essentially what that does is, well, it allows you to take full control of your shutter speed because it darkens and drops down the amount of light that's coming onto your phone sensor, and that means you can get that magic shutter speed of 1/50, which is what the majority of Hollywood stuff is shot at, or technically it's 1/48, but let's not fall out, friends. Now, if we look here, we have 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. We've varying degrees of sunglasses for your phone. These are phenomenally strong magnets. They work really well. Gotta say, I love this. I absolutely love this big ass lens cap. There's also a polarizing filter here, which helps hugely with reflections, but there is two more things here that really elevate this case to the absolute next level. But it also comes with a few problems. So first up here, and this is the beast, right? This is the beast. This is Hollywood in a box. This is Michael Bay in a box. I'm sure he had it in a boom explosion somewhere. This, my friends, is what's called an anamorphic lens. It's a very wide lens, and essentially you de-squeeze the image in post-production. Now that might sound very complicated, and it's the way the lens shoots, and I'm not going to get into the science of it here, but it gives beautiful lens flares, which J.J. Abrams was always used, probably a little too much. But it gives lens flares, it gives a very cinematic look. It's very kind of, that cinemascope vibe. But let me get this on, I'll show you how easy this is. Let's get our phone into the case, pop, done. Nice satisfying snap. And then we get our lens here. And if we see these little kind of indents, and this is precision engineering. One is smaller than the other, so we get the case on, and we turn, and boom. There we go. That is on there right now. And this, my friends, is Hollywood in your pocket. Or is it? Because, see, here's the thing, right? There is a huge problem with phones when it comes to making cinematic looking stuff. Stabilization. The way the algorithms work on these phones for crazy stabilization, I'm really not sure how it works, but it looks at what it's seeing, it looks at the amount of light that's coming in, and the problem is the image, when it's been shot using an anamorphic lens on the stock app, it looks awful. So the algorithm and the code doesn't know what to do. So it's like jello, it's wobbling, it's everywhere. No, here's the thing. If you use an app like Filmic Pro, let's not get into the subscription shenanigans. If you use the old version or another app, then you can actually turn off the in-camera stabilization on something like an iPhone. However, there is still no stabilization on it. And for something that's pushing the cinematic vibe, you need smooth footage. And if you're doing this handheld, it's okay. So I thought to myself, you know what would be great, Vic? What would be great, Vic? A gimbal would be great. So gimbals are everywhere in Hollywood for the most part, right? So I thought, let's get a gimbal. This is the brand newish DJI OM6, the Osmo Mobile 6. It's DJI's gimbal, and it works really well for mobile footage, except, yeah, and this isn't necessarily a Freewell issue. This is more to do a big old dirty problem with DJI. But here's the thing, it's a pain in the neck. So when you get your case on here, when you get your anamorphic lens on, you may or may not get things balanced, and the gimbal may not work at all. And that is a pain in the butt, which means this happens. It just dangles. Doesn't balance. It's too heavy. So you have to get a little bit of a bigger gimbal, maybe like a crane or something like that, and then it will work absolutely fine. But that's something to keep in mind, and it's something that kind of makes me think for any of the manufacturers who are making these types of things, they should take a look at what's out there in the market that's going to help get that cinematic vibe going, which is a gimbal. And probably the most affordable and accessible gimbal is the DJI OM6. And this doesn't really work. I've got it to balance once or twice, but it didn't stay consistent at all. Not a Freewell problem, a DJI problem, but I think all manufacturers should be aware that what gimbals will this work with if they're going for the cinematic vibe. It's just one little thing. Can they make this lighter? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. This is a serious piece of glass. And speaking of a serious piece of glass, their anamorphic lens comes even with ND filters, which means you can take this off, which is a UV filter, and essentially what this is, it just protects the lens basically, and then you can screw on one of the included ND filters like this ND64 and get it back onto your iPhone, and away you go. Now there is one other downside to this case, and it's a tiny downside, and to be fair, I guess Freewell have been trying to do the best they can to keep the weight of these things down, because not only is this a rock solid case, it is precision engineering, so much so that if you've got any of these little camera protectors that you can stick onto your phone, yeah, it won't fit. And I mean, we're talking like a nanometer, we're talking like teeny. Some of you know what I'm talking about, right? But that aside, it's probably a small gripe on something that is incredibly well built. Now, here's the other thing that's incredibly well built. This, my friends, blew me away. We've got like a cold shoe mount and stuff like that. We've got a Bluetooth remote control, which is broken, but we won't talk about that. And essentially what happens is you get this onto your phone, and then the whole thing, look at this, it's a grip, and you've got the little Bluetooth control up there for recording, so you can press it and record. Alternatively, you can take it off. I took it off the wrong way and smashed it. I'm an idiot. So you've got this amazing grip here, and then you've got an Arca Swiss type mount on the bottom here. This thing is absolutely a phenomenal piece of engineering. And then just when you think, okay, this is really cool because you can kind of get a bit more control over the phone and the movement that you're doing, and then just when you thought it couldn't get any better, look at this. This thing bends out and then it extends. So you can be doing whatever. I mean, look at this. This is just nuts. And then you're done, push it in, fold it up, and pull it off. This stuff from Freewell, I think it's some of the best stuff that they've ever done, and for full disclosure, they sent me all this gear for free. They just said, you want to take a look at it, you want to review it. They didn't tell me, say it's great, they didn't tell me anything, nor did they pay me any money. This is a really good piece of gear. I mean, look at the size of it. Look, this thing, phone, lens, can all go in your pocket, boom. But can you really shoot, as I slide back in my chair, can you really kind of make cinematic looking video with your phone. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. But all the gear in the world won't make an amazing cinematic video. It doesn't matter if you're shooting an FX3 or Red, an ARRI, an iPhone 14 Pro, don't matter. See, here's the thing that a lot of people seem to forget, right? You get all this amazing gear and you think, yeah, this is it. I've got all the gear. I'm like James Cameron meets Michael Bay with a sprinkling of David Fincher. I'm throwing some George Lucas there as well. Yeah, whoop-de-doo, look at me, I've got all this stuff. No, you're not one of them. Because do you know what makes them better than you and me is they have told and they tell better stories. Why do they tell better stories? Because they plan it out. They spend months and months writing it. Yeah, sure, you can't, write 10 YouTube videos in a week and expect it to go on for months. No, but process of planning a video, having some value proposition in it, having a basic story structure like a beginning, a middle, and an end, even in the simplest stuff, brings huge value to your audience. This gear is phenomenal. It's great. It's amazingly well built. This doesn't bring the value because your audience isn't watching you shooting the video with all the fancy gear attached, right? No, it's not. They're not. They're watching your story and what you shot. And that, my friends, is what it is all about. And if you want a really epic way to edit your videos, chances are you've never seen this done before, check this video out right here. Happy New Year, by the way.